Dune Part 2, we saw it last night, this morning, technically. I don't care. I don't want to get caught up in the minutiae of the whole thing. But we've seen it. It's out right now, so we're going to try to talk about it non-spoilery at first, and then we're going to get into spoilers just to give people that chance. So, Kyle, what's your... I've seen you today already, but we spoke about it a little bit, not too much. What are your overall thoughts of... Like, let's say you've just got out of the cinema. What's your quick thoughts of Dune Part 2?
I think the first thing I said to you was, like... Because, I don't have to say it's good. It's obviously fucking good. It's great. I don't have to say that. My thing is... It's a little overwhelming. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And it's a big universe, and it's a big film.
Oh, I told him something before we went to go see it. I think kind of played with your head a little bit, actually, hasn't it?
Not really. It would just if you're on about the actual thing that happens in universe.
Yeah.
I thought I was more of, oh my god, this universe is really fucking big. Like, it is massive. It is massive. I'll be honest, I feel like this film, it's so good, and it's a very lengthy and bulky film, that I'm really surprised it's all in one film. I'm really surprised they didn't break this up into another part, because this could have easily been spread over to a part 3. But they didn't do that. They managed to get it all in this film. And yes, it's quite long. I said this to you, Callum, today. It's a very long film. If you compare it to sort of like Endgame in the length and the flow of the film.
Length and perception of the length. So, yeah.
Endgame is a very long film, but when you watch it, it does not feel that long as it should be. This film feels like it is very long. It feels like you're watching almost, 3 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
Over 3 hours. Obviously, the film isn't 3 hours.
But you want to sit there for 3 hours and watch it.
But yeah.
And can we just say, because just before you move on to the next thing, just so people don't go, why are you comparing it to Endgame? I think we can both agree that this is a better film than Endgame.
Yeah, it is. No, I'm not on about Endgame as in the story and stuff like that. I'm not comparing it in that sense.
Just about perception of time and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't think of the word of it, but it's I can't think of the word of it. It's something to do with when you perceive things, and you like I said, when you watch Endgame, you feel like it goes very quick, and it doesn't feel like a very long, nearly 3 hour film. This does. This feels almost sort of like longer, but it's a good thing, because what I mean by that is, in a good way, is because it feels meaty. Like, there is not a scene here that's wasted. There is stuff in every fucking scene that you can just jump into and talk about and really sort of like get into. It feels more like... do you know what? It felt like I binge watched a massive show. That's what it feels like, in a sense. Because there's so much content in here, there's so much lore and depth. The first one did a great job of sort of slowly trickling you into this universe. Obviously, Guillermo's, I can't pronounce his name, but the director, he did Blade Runner.
Denis Villeneuve.
He didn't pull any punches. He didn't try to, slowly introduce that film and that film's universe, because it's already established. With the first one, I feel like he tried to do that. He just brought us in quite slowly, nothing too crazy. And then, obviously, in the sequel, he's just gone, right, fuck it, this is everything.
Yeah.
I'm not pulling back anything, I'm not explaining anything. If you know, and you're a Dune fan, and you're a lover of sci-fi, you're going to love it.
Yeah, this is, the Godfather Part 2 of this franchise. This is the Empire Strikes Back of this franchise. This is going to be in that, area now forever. The sequel, that's much better than the first. I love the first as well. But this film is fantastic. I don't know if I'm going to see another film this year that's better than this. I don't know if I'm going to see another film that's better than this for the next 5 years. That's how good this
I'm
film is.
I'm going to say something. I would like to just say this, but I want this to be taken not out of context. I love A New Hope. It's my favourite Star Wars film.
All right, no, that's fine.
I get it. Empire is technically better, and it is the better film overall. But for me personally, if I had to watch one, I'd watch A New Hope. I don't know why.
Because it's a more of a complete story. A New Hope as well.
Yeah. With this, I feel the same. I think I somewhat still love the first one, just a tiny bit more than this one. I'm only saying that because I've only seen the sequel, part 2.
We're going against Sunday. I think we've got to go against Sunday.
It can change. It can easily change this. Going to see it again, because I loved the first Dune when I first saw it. I didn't know half of the stuff that they were talking about, and then I sort of watched it again, and then watched it again, and then watched it again, and I just loved it more and more and more. And this is a film where it's like, I already love it to that point. I'm gonna even love it even further, and when I rewatch it
kind of feels
again.
like, we're finally getting the third act to a film we would love anyway, and it's just a 2 hour and 45-minute long third act.
Yeah,
and it's I'm not gonna say which scene it is in particular, but there's a scene in this which made me think Timothée Chalamet needs an Oscar for this performance. In this, it was fantastic. I was just watching it because I'd heard people talking about his performance and like going through the film. I was like, all right, yeah, he's good. But then when he gets to this certain point, it's like,
when he gets to that certain point,
oh my fucking god, he's showing me things that are wow.
Yeah,
and
he goes from this. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but you see him as like, he's a good actor, given that.
He's great.
And then when it gets to this certain point and, his character sort of shifts, it's like, fucking hell.
This is what a great actor he is. He just played Wonka and he was great in that. I went to go see that with my little cousin. He were great, he were fun. It was a fun film. It was nice seeing him on screen. He was this nice, gentle guy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
Towards the end of this film, I was like intimidated by his performance. Yeah.
Yeah, because I watched Dune 1 and Dune, and it's like, how are we supposed to believe that this guy's going to become this leader? You look at him and think, I go fuck him up, but then it's like after this, no.
So it's like he just. It's like if he ever like took the black suit from, like, say, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of feels like, but it's done in such a perfect way where it's like, this guy is intimidating now. Like, he's just gone from 0 to 60 and...
I do want to say as well, everyone gave a fantastic performance in this, but I do want to highlight two people as giving the best performances. Definitely Timothée Chalamet as Paul Atreides and Austin Butler as Fade Ralph. Oh my god, he was great as well. He was creepy as fuck. And it worked so well.
I was a little worried that I'd see him, because he has a very certain style. It's, from what I've seen when it comes to his acting, it's very American. And with this, it feels like he's a part of the family of the Duke. Not the Duke, the Baron. Like, he even sounds like him as well, which is really weird.
Yeah, his voice, you were doing some crazy stuff with his voice, but it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. God.
Everyone were great in this, though. Hats off to the cast. They all did a phenomenal job. And, this movie is... It probably is going to be the best movie of the year. I know we've got Deadpool coming out, but this film is amazing. Yeah, and I've got to say this. I've got a big thing to say here, Callum. I think this is the best IMAX shot movie.
Yeah, no,
ever.
Yeah, like we're massive. We've ruined ourselves. We are massive IMAX snobs now. If we can't get the film in IMAX opening weekend, they don't put it in IMAX or something like that, we'll have like a little bitch fit and we'll like cry at each other. It's like, why are the... But
So
this,
with the IMAX and
this
things
was
like that,
shot
and
beautifully.
and the sound quality, Callum, was beautiful. You know, when we watched the Batman, and we went to obviously go see that in IMAX.
Oh, the Batman, you say?
Yeah. Fucking sit down. He got a new hot toy. With the Batman and seeing that in IMAX, yes, the film is amazing. But when the Batmobile shows up, it's like, oh my god, like,
Your
it's
seat's
like...
shaking.
Yeah,
I felt my
seat
seat shaking a few times last night.
Well, here's the thing, that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you took just that one scene in the Batman where the car is revving up and the car chase scene, and you spread that experience throughout the entire film in all the action bits, that's what it is. It's got everything there. Like, I was like rattling my seat not in a distracting way. It was just like, oh my god, I can feel the explosions, I can feel the clankiness, and I can feel the impact of everything. So hats off to IMAX and hats off to them for really, putting this, showing the IMAX is worth going to see.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It is worth the extra money to go and see.
And I'm going to say this as well. I need to see it one more time, but I think this possibly could be Denis Villeneuve's best film. And this is a man who made Prisoners.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. My favourite of his is Blade Runner, but yeah, it very well could be.
No, right? Should we just have a
little bit of a
spoilery discussion now?
We won't go into lore. Anything that we know of from the lore, obviously the books are out, the older film is also out, so you can have this. You can even have the next part spoiled for you, but we won't do that. We are just keeping to what you've seen of the two movies.
Film, yeah, we're not. Yeah, no, not going to talk about. We're not going to go into Messiah. That is definitely going to be the next film. So yeah. Oh my god! So spoilers. If you don't want to get spoiled, get the fuck out of here right now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and we'll see you in another video. But my god, when he's giving that speech in front of the Fremen after he's drank the water of life.
Yep.
And he's like, there's no one in here who could test me. And he's he's telling them all, that one individual, about his grandmother and the planet and stuff like that. And they all just start following him. And the speech he gives in that room, that is the Oscar scene. And
well, for me, I mean, it's when he goes to the throne.
Yeah, the performance, like, from there all the way later on is... And then when he's speaking to the Fremen, and he's the Emperor, and he's like, kill the Sardaukar. He's like, and we'll take the prisoners. It's like, oh my god.
He's just there with all the big blades in the middle of it,
How badass are the Fremen as well?
The Fremen are mighty groovy.
It's like we've been.
I tell you what. It's what, like, the very end of the film when he just stomps the ground and he's like fucking, like, he put his hand in front of the Emperor.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he's just there and he just stares him down.
Kiss the ring.
Yeah, he stares him down and he doesn't do it. The Emperor doesn't do it. And he just, like, fucking stomps. And it's just like, oh, just fucking do it, man.
We both thought, how can we take this man to be intimidating? He's done it.
Yeah.
That's what a great actor he is. Obviously, he's taking Florence Pugh's character, the princess, as his wife. That kind of pissed off Zendaya's character, Chani. So... be interested to see where that goes. Yeah. We know where it's going. They're all boarding the ships now. They're all leaving planet, all the Fremen. So they're going to war. Galactic war now. So that's going to be some exciting stuff. But yeah. Is there anything that shocked you, like, spoiler-wise?
The obvious family reveal.
Yeah.
It felt very Star Wars-esque kind of thing, but I guess...
Lady Jessica is the daughter of the Baron. So I was shocked by that as well.
And another surprise is, if I'm not mistaken, it's Anya Taylor-Joy.
As his sister.
Is the unborn sister.
Yeah.
Which, All right,
was
cool. I hope
creepy
she.
throughout the film. Yeah, that.
It was pretty. Yeah, when she was talking to her unborn child, that was a little bit on the stranger side, but it was creepy and almost, you know, interesting
Yeah,
in a
but
weird
wouldn't they
way.
need that role to be older? Anya Taylor-Joy is such a great option to have
Yeah.
if they want to keep it like that. Depends how far in the future they go with the next Dune.
Mm.
If she's going to be born, if she's going to be a child, who knows? Like I say, we're not spoiling that. What do you think of the fight? Like,
I thought all the fights,
all the
all the
fighting were
action
great.
was great.
But when
I
they
think,
ride up on the worms and the Sardaukar are just
yeah,
like, fuck that.
I'm going to say one thing here, and I really don't. I hope when I see this again, I won't have the same problem. But obviously, we went to see this at midnight. I was getting quite tired. I'd say it was like halfway through the film. I'll say this: the one thing that I'm not going to say I didn't like, because I do like them. I just found it a bit too jarring. Is the in the future teasing the future scenes? That's like the only thing that I found a little bit jarring. I think it got a little bit out of control with that. But again, I have to see the film again. I was getting a little bit quite tired towards the end, but you know, that being said, it's not because it was boring by any means. I was very tired that last night, and I'm aching and I'm still tired from it. So that's the only thing I'd say. But I could see the film again and with a bit more context and stuff. Just being able to absorb it again and again. Once I've seen the film a couple of times, I don't think that'll be an issue.
One thing I do want to say is, how funny is Javier Bardem in this film, actually?
Yeah,
Stilgar. He was quite a fun... he has some great serious moments as well. But then, when he's like got all these like little followers down in the thing, and he's like, oh, he's not... he's saying he's not. He's like, this means that it's how humble of him.
As written.
As it is written. Yeah. Got his group of crazy old men with him. So yeah, but no,
he was great. Again, everyone was a standout role. Everyone was standout in their roles, and he does seem like he's changed tone a little bit. But you can put that as he thinks he's found the one. So it's like, why wouldn't it be more happy about himself and
exactly.
a bit more happier towards life and excited?
How willing he is for Paul to kill him as well, and he's like, you must kill me so you can speak at the thing. He's like, no, I'm not. He's like, I don't care what you believe. I believe. You need to do this. And it's like, wow. That was great. Another great line as well is when he's having the chat with Gurney, and Gurney's like, use the prophecy thing. Be the prophet. And he's like, my visions lead to horror. And he's like, why? Because you lose control. And he's like, because I gain it. And you can see that, and he does the thing he doesn't want to do.
Actually, had that ruined for me in I don't know if it was a TV spot or one of the trailers.
I think it was in one of the trailers as well.
Yeah, I think
in the whole context of the film now, it just makes so much more sense.
Yeah, I think when the next film does come out, I think this is something I'm going to avoid all for. Yeah, I know you'll want to react and talk about the trailers, but I probably won't be able to. I really just want to go into the next one now fully blind, because again, I just want to have these moments of watching the film, and because I don't know where this goes. I've not read the books, I've not seen the older film. I don't know much about it. I know you told me a little bit about something about the lore in the past before the movies happen, which I'm fine with knowing. It's anything in the future I don't want to know. I know it's like ruining Game of Thrones.
I know one thing about the future.
Yeah.
And it's, so I'm not going to say anything, but yeah. Anyway, we're here. Dune Part 2 might be...
I think I know as well, actually. I think I know. Just from Zara's reaction at certain points in the film, I'm like, that's kind of signifying something there.
So yeah, anyway... Dune Part 2.
Go see it in IMAX.
Go see it. Go see it twice. Go see... if you're lucky and you've got a Dune Part 1 and Part 2, double bill. Go watch
If
that.
you love sci-fi, if you love, Game of Thrones, it's putting these two sort of worlds together. I guess it's phenomenal.
It is. It
So
really is.
it's the perfect sequel.
What would you rate this out of 10?
I think I'd give it a 9, but when I rewatch it, after just kind of letting things sink in a little bit better, and obviously not being tired from watching it at 3 in the morning, it could easily be a 10 for me.
I'm sitting at a 9.5 right now. This film is fantastic. Like I said, this might be the best film I've seen in the last 5 years. It might be the best film I see for the next 5 years. That's how good this film is. And especially when you put it with 1 and part 2 together, it's such a beautiful story altogether. Them 2 films together, and they work so well together, because we did just watch 1 before we went to go see 2.
Yeah, but it also does that thing of, like, part 1 did the great thing. It was clearly a part 1 from the get-go. Obviously, due to behind-the-scenes stuff, they couldn't really shoot these back-to-back. But it was clear that it was a
glad they didn't now.
Yeah, but it's what I want to say is it definitely feels like a part 1, but at the same time it feels like a nice complete movie, and so does this. Obviously, with that where they leave it towards the end, they're obviously setting up for the next one. But it as a whole package, you've got a great film here. And then when you include the first one, you've got a phenomenal, like, the ultimate package.
The ultimate sci-fi adventure. No, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, 9.5 out of 10 for me. 9 out of 10 for Kyle. We will see it again this weekend. Definitely. But yeah, right. Anything you want to add before we go, Kyle?
No.
Nope. Right, definitely. Me neither. We've been Movies and Beyond. That's Kyle. I'm Callum. Let us know down below what you thought of Dune, if you saw it. Dune Part 2, I will say. And, yeah. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. And, most importantly, stay shagging, shaggers. Do you want to jump on that?
Not really, no, because that's not really our trademark.
Stay...
saying.
Should I get my Batman?
Just fuck off.
Alright.
That Batman.
See you later.